darling, my old friend, I'm here to read for you again. Hello, Silent Love Tarot, or Hillary for short. Welcome or welcome back, darling. Happy Thoughtful Thursday. We're going to see who's thinking about you. I'm going to try to lay the cards out so that you can actually see them. So they'll all be reversed to me, but I just felt like compelled to do that, so I'm going to do that. Let's jump into it. I'm going to figure out the energy of the person, sort of what their energy towards the connection is, what's happening regarding why they're thinking about you, and then I'll get into tarot, okay? It'll just be one card from this, and then we'll get tarot, okay? Spirit, my higher self, my darling's higher self, thank you so much for using me as a channel to guide and instruct. I ask for the most clear and concise messages, information, feelings, and sensations to flow through me for the betterment of my darling and for the highest good of everyone involved. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's see. Spirit, tell me about this person, what's going on, and their energy towards a connection. One card, please, for why this person is thinking about darling. That one. Shift. I freaking knew that one was going to come out. I was literally just comparing shift, shift, shift. And then we have spiritual cleanse on the bottom. Okay? Put these here. Shift. Something's changing for this person. It feels like a spiritual shift is happening. There's just some sort of realizations about what's important, what is beneficial for this person, what is not beneficial. And something about this realization involves them thinking about you and your presence in their life and your impact. It is causing a transition for them right now. Maybe they are in the middle of a spiritual awakening. I'm going to turn down this volume real quick. Maybe they're in the middle of a spiritual awakening. Wrong remote. Okay. If they're not in the middle of a spiritual awakening, then they are just sort of being placed into an awareness of what is beneficial to me and what I want. And what do I need to do to make that happen? And how does that involve darling? Okay, let's get into the tarot. Ooh, at the bottom, Ace of Cups. Possibly offering you an opportunity to meet up, to get together, to express emotionally, to get things off the ground, possibly. There's something they want to open up about, okay? But there's some boundaries here. Maybe this person hurt you. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, Spirit. Who is this person? Give me some characteristics about how darling would know who this person is. And why a shift would be something I feel like you would be aware of that needs to happen. I'm sort of getting that, like, okay, so the image in this, if you turned it this way, it's like an hourglass. And so I feel like there's a pause in something. Maybe something's been at a standstill. Something has been stagnant, and that's what needs to shift. Okay. Who is this person, and how would darling know who this person is to them? What are their characteristics? Who's this person thinking about darling? The bottom, the Hierophant. This is someone that you wanted a commitment with. It could be a Taurus, doesn't have to be. Yeah, someone that you wanted a commitment with, but it just did not work out. It just did not work out. I feel like you offered yourself, you were open to them, and yet they could have possibly left you hanging several times. We've got Pisces there with the Hanged Man. But this person is someone that you're very passionate about, someone who is very charismatic, very charming. They might be in the public eye or some sort, you know, with the Six of Wands, but they don't have to be. And I feel like this is someone who is very impulsive because of that. It's like they want the attention from others. They want attention from others. So perhaps whenever they think about making something more, I'm literally getting that feeling tied down to anyone makes them feel trapped with that Eight of Wands or Eight of Swords there. It makes them feel trapped. And this is hard because it's like, I feel like the desire, at least from one of you, possibly from you, is something traditional, something committed, something that is very routine and established. Like you want something very established here, something traditional. And maybe your ideas of what that looks like are contrasting with each other, right? Because it almost feels like this person wants to be a free bird. They want to be a free bird. They don't want to have to answer to anyone. They don't want to have to think about what they're doing before they do it. They just kind of want to live, moment by moment. Okay? And so I feel like what happens with this person and what's shifting is they're realizing, if I live moment by moment, I can't really bring anyone with me if I do that. If I'm only looking out for the next best thing or the next fun thing or someone new or something new or someone to, if I'm only looking for sparks and, the excitement of a connection, then I'm not going to have anyone with me long term, because no one wants to feel stuck to someone who's frivolously fleeting. And at the same time, when I think about long term or having to think about my decisions before I act on them, that makes me feel like I have lost my freedom in a sense. Okay? So there's this, it's so funny because I was hearing reframe, and then I heard like defamation, and then the two together was like reformation, like a reframing something. It's almost like the way this person viewed you and your desire was defamatory. Okay? It's like they didn't believe that you, like they don't believe in good intentions, or maybe the way you think this person navigates and why. Maybe you've been sort of, maybe they are worried that you don't think highly of them, that you don't have good things to say about them, that possibly, okay? But there's this reframing of this. What if it's not black and white? What if it's not good and evil? What if this person's not horrible and you're not perfect? What if this person's not perfect and you're not horrible? Like what if there's a middle ground here? There's something about getting a broader understanding of something through the lens of love with that Knight of Cups. Okay, let's see what this person's thinking. Okay, Spirit, tell me what this person is thinking about my darling and their connection. My heart. It feels like it's getting poked. Like it's just like this. Like a pinpoint in my heart. What is this person thinking? King of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Two of Wands, Ace of Swords on bottom, Page of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. How many aces are going to come out? Dang. I feel like this person is thinking about wanting something successful and they're planning long term with that King of Pentacles, okay? And they're trying to figure out, how can I step into a reality? How can I step into becoming the person who grows up? How do I grow up? How do I move forward? How do I get footing? How do I show up in a way that is, what's the word, Spirit? I just had it for a second and then it left me. Like integrity. How do I become a person of my convictions, This person is trying to figure out why they think the way they do, why they are where they are, and if it's possible to become someone new with that Two of Wands and the Page of Swords. This person is realizing that where they're at in life, okay, it's actually more trapping than any sort of, I feel like they're realizing there is freedom to be found in vulnerability and a connection, and having to think and communicate in a way that once made them feel stuck or like they've lost their freedom. I feel like they're realizing now that basically this idea of freedom in the sense of not having to care about anyone, they have now isolated themselves in a very lonely prison, a very lonely mental prison, and they want out of it. Okay, so when they're thinking about you, I do think that they are wondering how you have become the person that you are. Maybe you're very well established. Maybe you are a boss of some sort. You don't have to be, but you could just be well off. You have your values. You have your routines. You know what's good for you. You're very dedicated and loyal to what is good for you. Okay? You're protective of yourself. You do what you need to do. You're on the grind, right? And so I feel like this person has been watching you for some time, and they are just trying to figure out, how did you do it? How did you change? Maybe this person saw you as one way at some point, and now they view you in a different light. Now they see you differently. So I feel like this person is like, how did Darling shift? How did Darling shift? Okay? This is important because this person is now open to figuring out what actually makes them happy. Okay? I feel like this life of freedom, okay, that this person has been on the pursuit of, right, has been based out of fear. With that Eight of Swords. It's been based out of fear for a long time. It's almost like that cliche thing where it's like you attract the one thing you fear. So this person has, been afraid of being alone, being afraid of not being accepted, chosen, loved, adored, prioritized, thought of, considered, okay? This person wants to be considered. And then they navigate in a way that considers no one else. And thus they've manifested a life where they're alone, they're not considered. It's that sort of catch-22. And this person is like, I'm getting spiritual breakthrough with the Ace of Swords. Like they have had a truth spoken into their consciousness, their subconsciousness, their awareness about, are you really happy? Are you sure you're happy? Are you sure not caring about how you affect others? Are you sure that's what makes you happy? Are you sure? Or are you completely isolating and disconnecting yourself? Someone has throat chakra issues. That's bizarre. Someone has throat chakra issues that could be breaking through. Maybe this person's whole issue has been communication. Okay? The fact that the Eight of Swords is where they're hung up on, it feels like the reason why they have a hard time thinking things through or considering others is because they don't know how to communicate. They have not really sat down and tried to learn how to communicate. It's more like they observe others and then they draw assumptions. And then with those assumptions, they just act in a way that's self-serving. Right? Defamation. Like they are so worried about if they speak their mind or if they speak their plans or their intentions, or they're just worried about the backlash. Okay? They're worried about the backlash. So then they haven't opened up, right? And I feel like Spirit is trying to give them an opportunity to open up. Like, hey, you can be free-spirited. You can be an autonomous individual who, doesn't have to take life too seriously with that Page of Wands and still magnetize solid connections in your life, solid opportunities. You can be stable and free. And why do you think that is not talking about that? Like I said, is not talking about that. Is that really making you happy? I also feel like this person is having a realization about what does make them happy. It's not just the question anymore, right? It's this realization. I know what peace feels like. When I think about having peace with someone or peace in connections, I think about Darling. Maybe this connection hasn't been peaceful, but it's almost like thinking about the moments at home with you, or the quieter moments where you're not trying to do things, where you're not, worried about who's going to talk first or whatever. Those moments of togetherness, the most peace. The most peace, right? Interesting. Okay. Let's see how they're viewing you. How is this person perceiving Darling right now? I should probably shift this over so that shift. You know, it's almost like this person feels like if life were a vehicle, right? They feel like everyone else has automatic transmissions. Like it just naturally happens. People just naturally have this knowing of when to shift gears, right? When to shift gears. And then this person feels like they have a manual transmission and they have to figure out the timing and they have to push all the buttons exactly right, and that feels overwhelming because it's like this person hasn't mastered manual transmission yet. So they feel like they have something, they feel like they have it a little bit more difficult than you or others possibly. Ace of Cups. For how they're viewing you. Judgment. One more. Two of Cups. 10 of Wands. Okay, you can't see this again. All right. Oh, maybe I can scoot this back like I did yesterday. Okay. Ace of Cups, Judgment, Two of Cups for how this person is viewing you with the 10 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. This person is viewing you as taking a chance on moving forward, okay? This person feels like you have realized that you have offered as much as you possibly can until now. You've been very open, you've been very generous, and you are having to sort of realize with that Judgment card what has worked, what hasn't worked. You've had to offer forgiveness to yourself for overgiving. You've had to offer forgiveness to this person for not meeting your needs. And because of that, you are definitely in a more loving connection with the divine. This person is very envious of your relationship to spirituality, to yourself. Okay, they admire it, but they also view you as moving forward. I feel like this person is recognizing how much effort you actually invested into this connection. They feel like if they reflect with unbiased vision, they see how you really tried everything in your power to make this work, to move this forward, to make something happen out of it, to build something here. You put in as much effort as possible, okay? And I feel like because of that, they're realizing I didn't really give you anything to, look forward to. I didn't give you any reason to stay. You tried even when they gave you no reason to stay. Okay, with the 2 of Wands. And I feel like where they're seeing you now is like, okay, this isn't working because my needs aren't being fulfilled. My plans, my desires for my life are not, it's not being fulfilled here. And so they do view you as sort of not seeing them in the same light, maybe sort of viewing them as kind of greedy, as wishy-washy. And because you're very clear on how much effort you put in and processing forgiveness and processing acceptance and processing this person is who they are and you can't change them, and washing your hands of the situation, they do view you as moving forward, as not waiting for them anymore. Yeah, Death, Scorpio, transformation. They feel like you are putting this to rest. I'm getting emotional. Page of Swords, Knight of Cups. Yeah, they feel like you're putting this to rest, that you're no longer waiting for them to make up their mind about whether or not they're interested in making your history worthwhile. I'm getting emotional. Maybe this person's emotional. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. Is there any actions this person might take that Darling needs to be aware of? God, they view you like you have so much love. Your love is heaven sent with that Judgment card. Okay, any actions this person might take that darling should be aware of, Spirit? Or are their thoughts leading to action? Okay. You got the Ace of Cups for a second time, the Nine of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Eight of Pentacles on bottom, Eight of Cups. 88 could be significant. The World, the Nine of Cups. I feel like this person, they might decide to, in about 8 months' time, I'm getting 8 months for the Pentacles. In about 8 months' time, after doing some work, after really putting in the effort on up-leveling, okay, they might want to come talk to you. They might want to have a conversation where they pour out, you know, the way that they are thinking and feeling about everything. I feel like this person wants to tell you that they regret everything that they put you through, the drama that this connection brought, the ways that they maybe tried to make you feel jealous. They made you try to chase for their affection, to, like, there's something here like they wanted to be fought for. They wanted to be fought over, not even necessarily fought for. They want the attention. They want, you know, yeah, it's like they wanted to be fought over. And this person is realizing just like how cruel that was to put you through. Getting emotional again. Okay. This person really regrets ever making you feel like you weren't prioritized, that you weren't the best. Okay. Right now, this person is sitting in guilt over it, okay? They're sitting in guilt, and I feel like what they're realizing is that I feel like this guilt has been a very familiar companion to them for some time, but instead of dealing with it and growing from it for a long time, I feel like they just immediately replaced you with someone else, with something else, just immediately putting in distractions from processing this. And I feel like at this point they are having to open up to processing it, to taking accountability in some sort. Again, I'm not saying that you're perfect. You know, I think if someone shows us their colors and they show us that we are not on the same page, that we're not compatible, that we want different things, and you continually try to pour yourself out to someone like that, then that is a fault of your own. No one can make you do that. I know that there's being loyal to someone, but then there's being blindly loyal to someone who is not on the same page, right? So I do feel like you're aware of this. I feel like what I'm saying is not something that you're not aware of. If you think that you're perfect and that this person just was malicious, then you still have some work to do and some accountability to take, okay? This person didn't make you stick around and put in and, you know, run yourself through the grindstone basically to earn their affection. You had the option to say no, and you have to take accountability for that, and you have to forgive yourself for doing that, and you have to forgive this person. You should, for your own freedom. I'm talking to someone who's already done this work, who's already processed this level of accountability, and even though it may hurt and you may not understand why someone could do something the way that they did it, you're recognizing they wouldn't have had the opportunity if I valued myself more than I valued their affection, right? So I feel like you're accountable. You're not taking blame for this person's behavior, but you're taking accountability for allowing yourself to indulge in a 10 of wands situation with someone who wasn't reciprocating. Okay. So I don't feel like you fully blame this person, but this person has maybe never taken accountability fully for their part. And so I feel like this person is in this place where they are needing to take accountability. It is because you have walked away. I feel like this person feels like you're not looking back with the 8 of Cups, and that this is over, walking into a different, you know, a new level with that world, up leveling, because you realize what works for you, right? And now this person watching you move forward, watching you work on yourself and master your mind and process releasing and accepting, it has inspired this person, and that inspiration has caused a reflection on why they're not the same as you. Because maybe at one point they really believed that, they really viewed you as their equal, you know. So I feel like on some level you've up leveled, and so now they're having to realize, okay, well, how did darling up level when we were once the same? You were once my identical, but now you've grown, and why am I the same? Right, this is where the reflection comes in. Okay, let's get, what advice do you have for darling, or knowledge nuggets do you want them to keep in mind regarding this person and this connection and this lesson of a life? I heard that phrase in my mind the other day. It's like love of my life or lesson of my life. I was like, oh, yeah. I think we've all had those people who are like, that's the love of my life. And then in hindsight, you're like, that's a lesson of my life, and that's actually a little bit more valuable. That's more valuable once you're out of that, you know. Once you're done with that class, that's the most valuable. That's more valuable. Okay, let's see, Spirit. What knowledge nuggets do you want darling to be aware of with this person in this situation? There's no way you want all those. No, it was a mistake. Okay. Seven of Cups reversed. 4 of Cups, Hermit, with the Sun on bottom. Okay. Sun, 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, Judgment. Okay. Oh, I messed that up. Oh, okay, well that was on purpose. 8 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands. Okay. Spirit wants you what do you want, Spirit? Because there's contrasting energy here, like with okay. Maybe that's the point. Maybe right now, when I'm recording this, it's the 22nd of July, and last night was the full moon in Capricorn, okay? And there's a lot coming up emotionally. It's the second full moon in Capricorn that we've had in a month, okay? So there's a lot processing. There's a lot of like tying up loose ends, closing things out, things that have been long-standing in our life. So maybe Spirit is trying to encourage you that, hey, right now, the emotions might feel really almost numbing. Okay, I feel like they're so overwhelming and there's so many that it's just numbing, you know, like you're disassociating, okay, because of how emotional this has been. And Spirit wants to tell you that there is still joy on the other side of this, okay? Especially if you're willing to believe that this was a good thing, okay? That someone being the lesson of a life rather than a love of a life is a very valuable thing for you, right? To see it for what it is. That way you can focus on bringing in stability, bringing in foundation, community, celebration, joy, excitement. We've got double joy here with, Leo, the sun there. Okay? So Spirit is really just emphasizing that, like, hey, the lesson has been learned. The lesson's been learned, and it's been the lesson of a life. And what you learned about yourself, and what you learned about what you need and what you desire and what you're worthy of, and what's too much and what's not enough, and what's overgiving and what's overcompensating, trying to make someone show up in a certain way. The lessons that you've learned about this will stay with you for the rest of your life if you let it, if you accept it, and if you move forward, okay? Happiness is still yours to be had because of this, okay? There's something here about, like, rest assured, you're not going to be alone forever with that Virgo hermit energy. You're not going to be alone forever, okay? It's not going to be this hard forever. In fact, whenever you are stepping into other commitments or relationships or friendships, whatever this is, whenever you're stepping into something like this, you will not engage in another person the way that you did this person. And that's a good thing. This taught you who you are and what you're worthy of. And that is an invaluable lesson. That's invaluable knowledge to hold and cherish. Okay? Because of that, I don't think you'll waste as much time as you did with this person. I don't think you'll have to do, you won't have to put in 10 wands worth of effort for someone who's unsure, for someone who wants you to fight over them, right? There's a time and a place for 10 of wands, right? And that's when you know something, someone, a connection, would put in 10 wands worth of effort for you too. It's not you trying to earn reciprocity. We're not earning reciprocity anymore. We're expecting and only tolerating reciprocity. Yeah. Okay. Spirit's really proud of you. This is a lesson of a life. The lesson of your life, okay? How do you want to close this off, Spirit? And the shadow cards, messages from this person. Okay. Alright, what shadow messages do you have for darling from this person who is thinking about them? Shadow messages, please, from this person. I'm waiting for an apology. Maybe this person's waiting to apologize. Okay? Yeah, because this could be your shadow too. I am different now. Yeah, they're waiting to apologize. I wondered how far this would go. I never want to feel that way again. Okay. Any other messages? Waiting for apology. Wondered how far this would go. You know, I feel like this person almost intentionally tested you to see how much of their bologna sandwiches you would take. Okay. I feel like they really pushed you. And I feel like they're realizing that. They're realizing. And so I feel like they're waiting to apologize because they want to make sure that they don't repeat the person that they've been. This person really doesn't like the person that they've been, especially with you. Okay? Alicia's messages. Okay. Whoop. What do they want to say? What messages do they have? Okay. I was a fool. This person's not proud of what they've been, who they've been, the type of person they are. I don't know how to express my feelings. That's what I was talking about. It's like they don't want to think about how to communicate healthily, right? They haven't up until this point. And then we have I was playing hard to get. Yeah, wanting you to fight over them with someone else possibly. I knew I'd end up hurting you, so I stayed away. I'm not sure what that's about. I need you in my world. I'm sorry. Would you forgive me? Maybe they're staying away right now because they feel like they haven't done the work yet. Okay? But at some point there is going to be an apology and this, expression of how valuable you actually are. I don't know that you need it or that you'll accept it. I'm not sure. Lesson of a life, Okay, let's leave that there. Actually, no, leave it there. Okay. Tomorrow's Freaky Friday. We're going to see how to keep letting your freak flag fly, being completely authentically yourself. I hope to see you then, but if not, have a great rest of your day, a wonderful weekend, or a fantastic life. I love you so much. Take care and ta-ta.